Sup, it's Allie. Welcome back to Lisa the Joyful. When we last left, we were bidding up shadowy figures. And that will continue to be the case. Oh, the controller's already acting up. I can tell it's going to be a good day. Alright, so... which button do I press to get down this thing? It's one of these. It's one of these. That one. Found it. Okay, so yeah, we just get to beat up more of these guys. I should probably put on the music so it's not an extremely dull affair. I mean, it's going to be an extremely dull affair either way. But the music at least keeps us company, or at least keeps me company. I don't really know if anyone else is tuning in. You know, it's just whatever. It's whatever. We gotta beat these guys. Oh, goodness. Oh, but I'm worried. I'm a little bit worried about how long this is going to take. Hold on, I'm trying to remember where I put my freaking music player. There it is. I'm not on point today. It's kind of sad. Oh, jeez. Waiting for it to load. Waiting. Waiting. It's because I was busy doing other stuff before the stream, you see. I can't hear it? Oh, it's just a very quiet song. And we probably need to skip a couple of these because I added a few new tracks to the thing. Yeah, we heard these ones last time. Yeah, and we were in the middle of this one and it was taking 84 years because it's a very long song. So we'll just cut to the next one after that. Oh, how fitting. And let's go kill some guys. So, the state of the grind. Well, let's see. It occurred to me there were a couple things we could do to make this a little easier for ourselves, but I worry that we're a little too far past the point where they would be feasible. One of them was to use the pteroids we found, but we already turned them in, and I don't think there's any way to get them back off of Larry's stints. If there is a way, I might look into it. But, like, the other thing is, we also used up, like, our good whiskey, because we can't get it back. Oh my god. So, we can't start with the battle with, like, high TP, etc. and so forth. But what really has me most concerned is that at the end of the last stream... Hold on, let me try to land this correctly. There we go. At the end of the last stream, I decided to do a little test, and to fight the Warlords of Olathe, under the circumstances where I had not had my defense lowered. Basically, I played the fight such that I did not get worried or weirded out by Big Lincoln before I had accrued the hits necessary for the Warlord combo to begin. And I kind of lucked out and successfully did that on the very first attempt. But my goodness, having my defense up made basically no difference in the pummeling I received. They did well over my health bar in damage. By like several hundred. And it wasn't even close. So, like, I don't know if defense really makes that big of a difference for the attacks they happen to use there. But it ain't pretty, is what I'm trying to say. It is not pretty by any stretch. So, yeah, we have a long grind ahead of us, it would seem. Unfortunate, but true. We'll beat them eventually. Just, ouch. And I don't... The thing in my mind now is, like, would it be faster to start over and get the pteroids off screen? I just don't know. I don't know. There's certainly something to be said for starting the fight in optimal conditions. We've just been at this for like, this is now our fourth stream of grinding on these guys, and it looks like it's going to take another few level ups at least to get within range of where we need to be. So it's kind of a tough call. Like, Joyful isn't that long of a game. Usually. Like, you can just about finish it in 3 hours. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know what effect the pteroids have. I've never really tried them, and I was never really inclined to, because I'm good enough at Lisa that I can take the heat. I don't need boosts like that to get it done. But it occurred to me, for a circumstance like this, where if the opposition is so great that all our only other recourse is to kill hundreds and hundreds of shadowy figures, it's like, well, you know, maybe the pteroids would be the right tactical call there, if only they weren't already gone. But like I said, I don't actually know if you can get them back off of Larry's stints or not. It might be worth asking him, just to see. I think I'll probably do that after our next level up, since we're like about halfway to it anyway. God. My focus is Crocus. I'm gonna heal. But yeah, that's what's been running through my mind for this. It's like, if we want to beat these guys, which we certainly do, what measures is it going to take? What course of action is best? And I am at a point now where I could play this game on my own again and have it like count toward my time. Well, I mean, it would count more toward my time regardless, since there are other things that took priority before, and I didn't need to play ahead. What I'm saying probably doesn't make any sense to anyone but me, but I don't really care. I'm just saying, if I was so inclined, I could start this game over and possibly set myself up better. I guess one thing I could do is, no, hold on, let me heal first. One thing I could do is just do a test run on my own, get the pteroids and see how they affect the thing. Like on a separate file. And then decide for myself if that's worth bothering to do instead of this for however many streams it would take to kill enough shadowy figures to finally defeat the warlords. For all I know, that wouldn't have any effect on them because, like, it's not meant to. You're not supposed to win this fight. It's supposed to be impossible. But whatever. That's for me to worry about, and you to find out whether I did anything about it next week, I guess. In the meantime, I have to figure out other things to blather on about. Oh, what's been going on lately? Well, let's see. This was kind of just my week of returning to normalcy, so to speak. Because I'm way behind on a lot of stuff right now. But I can only do so much. I have to, like, manage my time carefully if I want to make progress in the areas I wish. And, like, normally, I allow breaks during my day to chill and stuff. So that I don't have like an onslaught of hobbies constantly barraging me, even though that's sometimes how it feels. Stuff like, I can get up later in the morning a little bit, or I can like have a snack after dinner and stuff, things like that. Just little moments aside where I can take a breather from doing things. The time isn't important for anything. But whenever I'm behind on stuff, that time does become important for catching up on things. So I've been getting up slightly earlier to make more of my mornings, and trying to stay diligent during my evenings so that I can use more time there too. Well, let's see. Yeah, just doing my best to catch up on things. Trying not to stress out about it. I don't even know if I'll be able to get there by the end of the year, but I probably will. It's easy to underestimate just how much I can make use of my time if I really try. And I've finally laid off the Pokemon cards to a large extent. This was like the first week in a while where I only had one thing delivered to me. Wow! And it kind of ate up my evening on Thursday when it arrived. But it wasn't a big deal. There's only like one seller I'm still paying attention to on eBay because I've gotten a bunch of good deals from them. They have like these little, they do these like custom pack card bundles. I can't remember if I talked about this before, but they put 80 cards into it, and it's from a specific generation. And they still have like a whole bunch for Gens 7 and 6, which kind of have me interested in, but also kind of not, because I've been trying to avoid their Gen 7 bundles because I have too much of Base Sun and Moon, and from Hidden Fates as well. But it's such a good deal for what they're charging that I'd still be willing to buy many more bricks of both of those from 7 and 6, but it's like their even older stuff, like Gens 5 and 4, that I've been trying to keep an eye out for. I've snapped up all they've listed so far, and would buy more again. And the cards are in pretty good condition, too, despite their age. But yeah, apart from that guy, there's basically no reason for me to be looking at auctions anymore. I'll have a reason to sometime soon in November, because Surging Sparks is coming out on my birthday, actually, November 8th. That's when the set releases. How nice. So I get to try and find those for a decent price. I'm hopeful because Stellar Crown came out recently, and I was able to get those for quite a steal. I'm pretty sure I did buy them for less than $3 a pack, despite their newness. It was from, like, this wholesaler somewhere on eBay, where, like, they had, I think it was like 2 booster boxes. It's 36 packs each, and the ETB, and I think the starting price was $175, and I got it for, like, under $200. So yeah, I'm hoping for something, or to catch a deal like that again, basically. From the same seller, of course, because they do this all the time. I've seen them listing their auctions in that manner. Well, come to think of it, I haven't really seen them listing auctions in a while yet, so I'm not sure. I don't know what's up with them. I'll have to look into it when the time comes, I guess. I'll get my cards one way or another. But yeah, now that I've dialed back the spending to a large degree, I don't really have to worry about them eating up as much of my free time as they were. So buying them once in a while instead of, like, constantly is going to help. Fewer distractions, more time to work with. It also feels good to have my eBay business mostly taken care of. It would have been all done today, because there were only 2 orders that I made that never arrived, and I put in cancellation requests today for both of them. The only problem is one of them is now outside of eBay's guaranteed money-back policy. I didn't realize I had waited too long to still qualify for that. So here's hoping the seller is reasonable. I don't have any reason to believe they wouldn't be. It's just a matter of getting in touch with them, and part of the reason I'm canceling is because I've had such a spotty time getting in touch with them. These are the ones I told, hey, like, the last message I sent them was, just ship the stuff, please, okay, thanks. Not in those words exactly, but that's basically it, and I haven't heard from them. And that's mightily annoying, because it was also, like, the really big one that was, like, $900. So, yeah, that's not great. It's bad. Not happy that I'm basically on my own for that one. I'm not sure what I'll do exactly. I guess, having made the refund request, I imagine eBay will have sent them a message, and I'm hoping they will respond to that. But if they haven't after a week, I'm going to, like, call the number they sent me to text them with, and let's see if I can't get in touch. Because I gotta resolve it one way or another, and their action is basically required at this point. Like, if they want to finish the sale and collect their payment, they can. I'm still open to that. If they don't want to collect their payment, they want to refund it, well, I still need them for that too, so... It would just be super annoying to have spent $900 on nothing. We'll see what happens. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't. It's nice to have been well off enough for that not to matter. I'm gonna roll the dice. Get some more TP and heal a bunch. Oh, nice status to get, buddy. That's good. Okay, I'm just gonna mend again. I want to be at full health. You're gonna smack me, I'm not gonna be there anymore. So yeah, I got that eBay order to worry about, but apart from that, everything is basically taken care of. The controller has died. It has literally just stopped working completely. Come on, controller, why are you like this? Oh, I know, I've been using you a lot. There it goes. I had to unplug and replug it. That's never a good sign. Before the stream, I tried mapping the control scheme in Joy-to-Key so that when I press left and right, it automatically presses shift also. And it seems to work for left, but not for right. Like, it would work consistently when I pressed left, but when I pressed right, it was a crapshoot whether or not it would actually go through. That sucks. Wish I could just depend on it. That beat drop, though. Huh. Don't mind me, I'm just jamming. Just thinking about what else I want to say. Let's see what else is happening now that things are in motion again. Well, I finally started writing reviews again, thank goodness for that. I only got through like 2 of them before I got too distracted with other things to continue. But yeah, writing them earlier in the day rather than later is proving to be working, so I will continue trying that next week. I need to write my review of Night Rain next, and that's going to be quite a doozy because I had a lot to say about that mod. In a way, it kind of rekindled my liking of DDLC mods, to be honest. Maybe it was just because I played it after Undercurrents, and Undercurrents was such a letdown, but and I don't mean that in terms of like quality or whatever. I wholly respect what they've accomplished with Undercurrents so far. It's just not my thing. I was never into romance visual novels, and that's basically all Undercurrents is so far. And it's very long and not that interesting to me. And I feel like some aspects of it could be much better executed, but that's all in my review of Undercurrents that already exists. No, Night Rain was a completely different beast, and even though it is a more flawed mod than Undercurrents, there's plenty of interesting stuff in there, and I'm still trying to figure out how exactly I want to rate the review, because a lot of what makes Night Rain so great is the mystery aspect. And if I'm writing a review, there are like things I'll need to spoil to get my point across. And it's difficult to decide just how much I want to say and how much I want to leave out. there's gonna be like an entire section of the route that's just like, hey, heads up, spoilers. If you want to maintain the intrigues, go no further. But yeah, still like plenty of reviews I need to write. And I'm hoping to catch up on them quickly. Just a matter of making the time to do it, and that's tricky with as many other things as I need to do. Plenty of obligations. This song has no business being as good as it is. What else is happening? I still got a few more thumbnails I need to crank out. I've been working on the one for Get Out, and that one's nearly finished. I want to say there's like 5 others still, good grief. We've just finished Taste Like Spelunky this week, so that's nice. We're starting something new for the indie slot. I can't remember what the game is, it's just called Trapped. I can't access my thread on RMN, so I don't know who requested it, or what kind of game it is, or where it's from, or anything about it. I get to just like hunt around and see. I'm hoping it's something in RMN's database, because then it'll just come right up and I won't have to wonder, but if it's not, then I'm gonna have to be like, okay, well, who might have asked me for this? Because I don't get too many outside requests for things, but there are some in there, like a former DDLC modder, Tritris Sirpafu, has requested quite a few things from me. He's got like a Fire Emblem fan game in there, and I'm like, that ought to be interesting. I have very limited experience with Fire Emblem. I saw a Let's Play of like, oh, what was it called? I can't remember what version. But, yeah, I've seen at least one Let's Play of at least one Fire Emblem game, so it was one of the 2D ones, so I have some idea of what they're like, to a degree. Never really made a sincere effort to play one before. I once played a game that was Fire Emblem-like a long time ago, and that was at a time in my life where I didn't even understand the genre, so I was terrible at it. But yeah, I'll be curious to see just how that goes. That's way later in the list, though. It's definitely not the next thing. Oh hey, it's that song that was really cool and then became a meme and became uncool because it was a meme. I have the properly looped version, because I made sure it looped properly. If it doesn't, I'm going to cry. That guy got megalomania. Good grief. So yeah, still working on the thumbnails, still working on the reviews. Getting back into Pokemon Hunter 1 and all its battle group stuff. That's nearing its end, but not quite there. I've reached, like, the end of the classic Area 8 battle groups. I'm still touching those up a bit. It's tedious, it's so tedious. But it probably won't last me too much longer as far as, like, time sync goes, and then I can get back to updating the desert map. It's really hard to put into perspective how far along the project is. The progress has not been insubstantial. There is still a lot left to do. Yeah, I gotta finish the battle groups, finish updating the desert area, then I gotta update the ruins area, and after that, I guess it'll be looking at side quests, updating the old ones, adding some new ones, then re-adding the classic mode maps. And all of that is going to take quite a while. Whether I'll be able to finish it before I would resume Take 2 or not, really hard to say. Depends on how diligent I am, I suppose, if I get, like, a creator's block. Sometimes it's hard to work on maps consistently. It requires, like, a different kind of creative juice that I don't always have in me. That probably sounded wrong. So. Yeah, I was working on it just before the stream. That's why I was a little bit unprepared when I got on here, because I was trying to make the most of my time, and that means, like, working right up to the stream start. Oh, goodness. I'm setting up a special battle that did not exist in either version of the game before. It's basically, it's a Zapdos that while you're fighting it, it calls an Articuno and a Moltres to fight alongside it as time goes on. A the SOS battles of Sun and Moon. That ought to be fun. Because, like, the other Zapdos battles in the game don't really do that. In the main game, Zapdos has become the boss of the mountain, and it works a little differently than other bosses, because all the other bosses in the game, or at least in the main game, they operate on SOS battle terms. They have Pokemon that will come to aid them at the start of the fight, and as they lose more HP. But Zapdos, it's up on top of the mountain with Articuno and Moltres, and in order to ascend to the roost, you need items that all three of them have taken away. They have, like, the climbing gear you need to climb all the way up. And whenever you're fighting Zapdos to get its climbing item, it won't fight to the death. It will, after it takes a certain amount of damage, it will try to run away. And the chances of it running decrease more and more the more damaged it is. If you manage to kill Zapdos before it goes all the way to the top of the mountain, then you get a fight against the mini-bosses Articuno and Moltres who try to avenge it, basically. But if you don't, and it gets all the way up there, then you need the rest of the climbing gear to go get it. So you fight Articuno and Moltres individually for their climbing items, and then go up to face the boss. But the boss will have fully recovered by the time you get there. But anyway, in the final roost fight, it will try to call for the Moltres and Articuno to help it, but they're already dead, so they can't join it in battle. It ends up just fighting by itself. But in Classic mode, Articuno and Moltres were never included at all because they weren't part of the base set of the trading card game. They only showed up in Fossil Set for whatever reason. But since they had a presence in the main game, I wanted to include them in Classic mode, at least somewhere. So there's an extra fight I'm adding, where there was originally just going to be all three of them, you fight them up in the sky. and now we've made it, or decided to make it such that, well, there will be the Zapdos initially, and it will call the Articuno and the Moltres to help it, like it would have in a regular SOS battle with other bosses. And I mean, the Zapdos is still a regular boss in Classic mode as well, but I decided to leave it by itself, because at times where the Classic mode fights differed from the canon fights, I decided to leave them as... well, hold on, I'm going to explain this. Basically, since Classic mode is like the original version of Pokemon Hunter, and the main mode is now going to be the updated version of Pokemon Hunter, when there were fights that differed between the two, I want to keep the different fights so that there's even just that much more variety, and it's like not that big of a difference. But since Zapdos was a standalone boss in the original PH1, it gets to be a standalone boss in the Classic mode of the new PH1. It's basically how it goes. So we get all versions of these bird fights, is basically how it's going to be in the end. And I was making changes to that battle group right before the stream. That's what I was doing. There you go. A glimpse into my not terribly interesting life. Getting close to that level up. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be up to playing this game again to get the pteroids. Some deliberation will be required for that. But, I can probably fit it into my regular gaming time pretty easily, because I'm very close to finishing the other game I was playing, which was Face Raiders. I had played it initially in one session and gotten most of the way through it, and I thought for sure it would not survive a second. But in my second playing of the game, I play games for 2 hours at a time, I mildly underestimated how difficult the final two stages would be. Because first, to unlock them, you have to do, like, some other stuff, like handing it off to friends and whatnot, which I didn't really bother with. It's not like the game knows you didn't actually hand it to another person or something. But once I'd fiddled around in that for a little while, it unlocked the bonus stage and the final stage. The bonus stage was kind of just a nuisance, because they make you shoot these particular face raiders where they take 5 hits before they go down, but each hit knocks them up and over a certain amount, and you basically have to juggle them. And if you miss shooting them and keeping them up in the air, they fall off the bottom of the level and you can't shoot them and you lose. And getting through those was kind of a pain. But the final level, oh my goodness. I'm kind of astonished it's as difficult as it is for what Face Raiders is, but it's like wildly hard. It's basically hard mode versions of the original 4 levels, because the game only has 4 levels, and this is just like souped up versions of all of them. But they're also all in a row. So you have 1 health bar and no health recovery to take on harder versions of all these stages and their bosses, and oh, it was just a nightmare. I was losing my mind trying to beat the final boss of the thing on its hard pattern. It's just... do I feel like describing it? I guess I might as well have got time here, huh? How this boss works. So, like, Face Raiders, it's a sort of a first-person shooter, I guess. You control it by holding the DS and, like, aiming it around and, like, it uses the DS's camera to take in your environment, and it makes the monsters pop out of the environment and such. So you can't really just kick back and lay there playing it. It's one of them motion control games. And you press the button and it shoots a little ball at whatever you happen to be aiming your reticle at. But the final boss it's encased in like this metal shell, and at the start of the fight, 5 little protrusions pop out of it, and from the protrusions it fires a laser. You need to hit the protrusions outside of it to flip them around so that it fires the laser back at itself. And you have to do that very quickly. And in the hard mode pattern, you have to do it so freaking fast. So fast. It is ridiculously hard. There's our level up. Level up, buddy. Let's go fight the Warlords after we check your status. Another 10,643 experience and you'll be that much closer to victory, I guess. Hold on. Save. And we're gonna heal. And we're gonna check and see if Terry will give us back the steroids. Not Terry, Larry! How could I possibly mistake Larry stints for Terry hints? Preposterous, really. Nothing happened. No spiders or anything. Whoop, can't run that way. Dude, get up there. It's a bit out of our way to check this, but if we can get them, it'll be totally worthwhile, probably. And again, we don't actually know. We don't know anything. Gotta find out. Larry, can I have the pteroids back? I need them for a thing. Actually, I do want them back. No, he won't let me. Oh well. And we're trucking back to the list, I guess. Another thing that occurred to me is maybe we could ask Larry, or start easy mode and then truck back, but I'm very confident that would not work. Like, of all the places that they would forget to flag for not being trucked back fromable, you'd think easy mode would be the absolute one that would not. And I'm so confident that they would not have made that mistake that I'm willing to not even try. There ain't no way you're getting that super weapon and level of experience back from easy mode. There's just no way. Just like there's just no way beating these guys is going to happen this time. But we'll try it. We'll try it anyway. It's worth at least one try per level up. I feel like that's a statement. A true statement? Probably not. The Warlords, I believe. The true men's hair club. Not a single one of them is blonde, or not blonde, bald, I don't think. Yeah, none of these guys are bald. Look how hairy they all are. What a bunch of hairy dudes. We want to do this first. Probably. Yeah, you do that. And then we, like, roll the dice. Hopefully don't get paralyzed or something. Oh, we did. Don't lower my deeps. He did it. At least weird wears off eventually, but man. Yay! Alright, at least the stun wore off. Okay, let's sleep. Let's like. Good, Big Lincoln fell asleep. Alright, I did want to try one thing here, though. I'm just gonna regular attack this guy 3 times and see if they start the combo. Because that's an important thing to know. I attacked him once. Oh, I should probably, put up second wind, but hold on. First of all, it's like... Alright, I only got one person sleeping, I guess. Oh, don't kill me just yet. Okay, I can totally, pacify them again. Pacify! Second the wind. Have some jerky. Okay, good. Alright, I'm where I need to be. I wonder what causes the chances of them missing and such. I was like... I feel like this song is fitting for this battle too. Now, stabbing you again. That was only the second one. Of course he silenced me. Aha! So it was only 2 attacks. Alright, well, let me just see. How are we looking here? Nobody is unruly. Good. Pacify. Then throw a firebomb. And now we heal and probably die anyway. Oh? We survived it! But actually, with my TP as high as it is, I'm going to let them wipe me out and spam second wind for a bit. Waiting for Unruly to wear off on them, basically. Right, so, controller, work with me. Alright, so Hansnami is still Unruly, but he's the... Oh, wait, no, 2 of them still are. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and second wind again. Should I wait for bleed to wear off? I kind of need to, or otherwise it's going to kill me is the thing. Let's just see what happens. Evade! Alright. Somehow we are not dead yet. Calm down, y'all. Of course, the only reason we're living is because we haven't, they haven't hit us full force. You know, damage variance does count for something. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, a bunch of them are unruly right now. I need to use Second Wind and let them just own me for a bit. Until Unruly wears off. Fully. Okay, they're fully unruly, then I'm not even bleeding. Nice. Okay, so we can pacify. Alright, because I can't do the thing. That's right. Empty bottle. Nobody is burning. So let's change that. And now I must heal or I am toast. Oh, but I could still just Second Wind again. I guess there's no reason not to. Now I have to heal or I will not make it. Ah, died to the dots. That was better, though. That was better. Maybe this isn't so far off, after all. Another level up might actually do it. I guess we'll see. There were also opportunities I could have taken there to attack Dice directly with regular attacks, because he had failed to silence me. We can take him out in one hit now. Well, that wasn't one hit, that was two, but I did nail it perfectly. That was very fast compared to our other mysterious figure battles. Shadowy figure, whatever. I like this guy better when he can't hurt me. All I have to do is inflict wary once, and that's it. Defense down. Yeah, I think one more level up might be enough. It might just be enough. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful if that was the case? Because, like, heck, the only reason we died there was because of the dots, and it's hard to gauge how big of a factor that's going to be. Because, like, the dots are, as we saw, like another 160 damage on top of everything else they can already do. But surviving that could be as simple as getting rid of Han Tsunami as well, you know? But yeah, as far as getting like as much damage on them as possible before the Warlord combo begins, I think it's gonna have to be like... I just wish I knew what initiated it, because I'm pretty sure I only attacked him twice, didn't I? It's definitely not damage-based. It couldn't be, because we didn't do nearly as much damage there as we have in the past. So I really think it is, like... it increases a variable every time they take damage, whether it's from striking them or from a dot. And once that variable hits a certain point, that's when they start trying to own you. So basically, you want to make those early hits count as much as possible, and as far as I can tell, Joker Strikes is the best way to do that. Because you don't want to inflict a dot with Behead or something, because then the dot damage counts towards your total number of strikes, and the Joker Strikes are going to count better. Now you might say, well, hold on there, Hallie, if you're using the Joker Strikes, doesn't that mean they take multiple damage just in one go? And we've seen that no, that is not the case. It's counting the attack as one attack, and even though it's multiple strikes. This is all just my best guess. That certainly seems to be how it is, based on what we're looking at here. There's the Wary. Boo. Shadowy Figure can fight back now. What a stinking guy. Oh my god, my controller died again. One of these days, I'm going to take this controller over to my other PC and plug it into the USB and see if it has these same problems. And if it doesn't, then maybe it's fine. Because it's highly possible it's just the laptop being crappy. By now the laptop is actually relatively old. It's as old as my Let's Play series is, so it's been a few years. It's not like it's really giving me any trouble in other areas. Just acknowledging that it is not a new laptop anymore. It's well broken in by now. It's not as if I don't take good care of it. Just, you know, you use things and they get worn out. So what were we talking about before? We were talking about gaming and stuff. They were like talking about face raiders and how annoying the final boss of that is. I feel like that topic has run its course. I don't really have too much else to say about it. I have no intention of clearing the final stage in one go, because, you know, although it is like all four of the previous stages smashed together, you do get breaks in between, and you also kind of get checkpoints in between, so if you die on a later stage, you can still pick up from the start of that stage, but your score gets wiped out. So, like, goodness, my highest score for that was like somewhere around 10k, which I'd gotten for clearing Phase 1 and part of Phase 2 before losing to the boss of Phase 2. And my later level battles never exceeded that score, so that's my high score for the whole thing, even though it wasn't a score I earned in one go, or on the successful attempt. And man, call me crazy, but I just don't feel a strong desire to get good enough at face raiders to pull that off. Like I said, it's a motion control game, and it was very tiresome just playing it casually, really. You can't really sit there. You've got to have your arms up. You've got to, like, turn around, move around. If you're going to sit, you're going to need to be in a swivel chair or something. And the enemies tend to appear at a height on the screen that's just high enough that it's a bother to hold the system up in front of you. So you can't really rest your arms on anything, is what I'm trying to say, without putting yourself in a really awkward position. I know I probably sound like a lazy gamer complaining about this and all that, but no, it's not a matter of laziness, it's just... I get my workouts from other places. I've said many times before, I deliver the mail in my building at work, and I go up and down like 2 floors constantly, every day, up and down the stairs. Don't even get winded. I'm fine with it. I like it. Gets me away from my desk. It's good stuff. And I eventually plan to return to my workout regimen, where I visit the apartment complex fitness center for a couple hours every Sunday. Put 99 minutes on the exercise bike. If it wasn't so far behind on other stuff, I would still be doing that. And it's not even an excuse. Although it is, I also have been kind of trying to, like, regain my weight a little bit. Because part of the reason I started working out in the first place was because I had gained too much weight. And it wasn't even that much weight, really. I was just like, oh, I'm losing belt loops. I should probably do something about it. I've always been a skinny guy, and I have never intended to be a pudgy guy. But yeah, I haven't quite gotten back to that level of weight since I cut back my diet, so it's hard to gauge my needs. I feel like I should be working out just in principle anyway, but in terms of weight control, it is not currently necessary. Which is why I'm comfortable letting it slide while I get caught up on other things where I need the time to sink more. But anyway, yeah, Face Raiders. Kind of annoying to play. And I'm almost done with it. Although I have unlocked all the stages and technically beaten all the stages, there's one more thing you can do in it. Because, like, every time you clear a stage, you get, like, a little animation where, like, the head creatures just bop around and stuff. And apparently there are, like, 20 or so of these things, and each time you complete a stage, it unlocks one more. And you can tell how many of them you've gotten because they are tracked on the title screen of the game, and you can, like, cycle through the animations and watch them, so... yeah, so once I've unlocked the rest of those, there are only like 6 left. That'll be it for Face Raiders. And then I will have time for something new, or replaying Joyful to see if the Pteroids would help with our stupid situation here. I might do that anyway, just for, like, clarity's sake. To see how big of a difference it makes. But I don't think I'll be replacing our current run with it or anything. Might do it just as a curiosity to see. Especially since Joyful is a short game. But yeah, that fight we had with the Warlords today has heartened me. I think one more level up, maybe 2 tops, and we'll be like totally in a viable range of beating them. I'm thinking next time, after this next level up, we can give it a real try. Like, not a going in, presuming defeat try. But yeah, it's really hard to tell if or how much defense even plays into this situation. Checking it out last stream was not, or after last stream, was not encouraging. So one other thing you might be able to do to optimize Buddy for this endeavor is to keep the dead flower instead. Because while it's not worth it nearly as much defense as the badass belt buckle, it increases her luck, which decreases her chances of being afflicted by status problems, and status conditions are a major issue with that battle. For a lot of reasons. It would help you be more resistant to poison and bleed. It would help you be more resistant to silence, and presumably paralysis from Buff Van Dyke's power bomb. I had just assumed that the defense would be more useful, and I feel like that's a reasonable assumption. But how it plays into the numbers really doesn't seem to matter much. Very hard to tell. It doesn't help that, like, these attacks all have very high variance. Like, it's hard to say, was the damage they did decreased because of our defense? Or did they just roll low on their damage? Like, who knows, man? Who knows? Regardless of all the uncertainty, one thing I am sure of is that we can win, and that victory may be closer than we think. Looking forward to it. Ooh, I can't hardly wait. We'll be finishing this at what, 28, maybe? 30 is probably like the comfortable limit you'd need to be. Like, going higher than 30 helps your chances, but isn't necessary. Maybe. Just postulating. Pontificating. Yeah, well, turning to things I was doing. I guess I played some Smash Brothers this week, but it was bad. Oh, you didn't want to see that, man. That was a real nasty situation. I've reached the point where I've run out of characters I'm familiar with, and I'm down to, like, all these new guys. And, let's see. I had started playing as Bayonetta for that session, and somewhere between Bayonetta getting nerfed from Smash 4 and me just being really not good at her in general, I did not do well at all. I might have lost all 8 of the fights. She's a real fragile character, and she doesn't do a lot of damage. Her smash attacks are pretty good, if you can land them, but they're not very fast, and they're pretty predictable too. I've never been good at, like, the chippy, tall characters. There are people like her, and Sheik, and Meta Knight. Meta Knight's not tall, but he is very chippy. As in, you have to hit them a lot before you really get anywhere. Zero Suit, yeah, she qualifies as well. All those characters. Bayo is, like, right there among them, except now with way worse recovery than anyone could ever imagine. Like, there were so many times where she just passed right by the ledge. I was like, way to kill you to reach out your arm and grab it, girl. No, she just slips on by. It's like, oh, okay, I guess that's how she operates. She does not have magnet hands. If you're not right up on the ledge, you're not catching it. And her up B is so useless. I would hesitate to call the recovery move with how low it goes. Like, if you need the up B to catch the ledge, you basically didn't have a chance of catching it in the first place. Very, very pathetic. But it's true, it doesn't, like, put her in a helpless state when she does it. So you might be able to, like, up B, then side B to reach it. I should probably experiment with that. I really don't know a whole lot about how she works. I know that her side B usually goes up, I want to say. Up a little bit, maybe down. Maybe you can control it. Like I said, I'm not that skilled with Bayonetta, so I don't know all the ins and outs of her. Or if there are any, like, special features to her moves. Oh, but then beyond Bayonetta, it's only gone worse. Like, I was also playing as the Mii Brawler, and just getting dunked on constantly. It was ugly business. Mii Brawler I have a little more experience with, but from what I understand, he's a pretty low-tier character, and I can kind of see why. His attacks are very stubby and close to his body. You've got to, like, really get in on people to hit them. And that means it makes his range much lower than most characters, so it's hard to approach with him. So yeah, I was getting wrecked as both those guys. And I want to say there was one other person I was utterly failing at as well, but I can't remember. It wasn't just those two, was it? There was... Oh, that's right, I didn't start as Bayonetta, I started as Corrin. And I think Corrin might have gotten a fairly hardy nerf in Ultimate as well. Definitely did better as Corrin than I did as Bayo or the Meat Brawler, but it was not great. Didn't help that my opponents were pretty competent too. Like sometimes you get a person you can just tell they don't really know what they're doing. Or like they're so used to their playstyle that they just kind of you can pick up on their patterns and punish them. But yeah, I saw plenty of people who were like adaptive as well. Those are the ones you really gotta watch out for. People who can break out of their habits and take you seriously. If anything, I get really annoyed of the fighters who just play in such a way that they're just dominating the entire time. And you can tell that you're playing their game as opposed to them having any respect for you or what you can do. It can be difficult to contend with them. Especially since my fighting style could best be described as Berserker. I just like to go nuts. It's not a very smart way to play. It's fun, but it's not very smart. I guess it's not quite accurate to say it's fun. It's engaging. Because you're like constantly on the move, constantly trying to assess the situation and see what angles of attack you can take instead of just waiting and punishing. Which is my least favored playstyle. It's the smartest way to play, but it's so irritating. Like, I'm not here to wait for my opponent to make a move. I'm here to make moves. That's my playstyle in Smash. For better or worse. And for some characters that really works, and for some characters it really, really, really doesn't. And I feel like Bayo is one of those characters where it really doesn't. Or at least not the way I was doing it. Like, she's fast, but she's kind of predictable. And there's only so much she can do. Like, she has some decent projectiles. One of the things I actually do like about Bayo is that you can hold the attack button for basically any attack of hers, and she'll just keep firing and do a little chip damage to the person. And that can be useful for wearing them out. But it takes a long time. And like I said, she's fragile. So if they're wheeling on you in the meantime, or getting all up in your grill so you can't do things, it just makes it tough to succeed as her. And her recovery is so unbelievably bad. It's like, I would go so far as to say Little Mac has better recovery than Bayonetta. I can't tell you how many times I've fought like computer Bayonettas and seen them just utterly botch her recovery and being like, what happened? And then I played as her myself and I was like, oh, I understand now. Granted, those computers could still have been smarter and followed it up with like a side B or something, and they usually do. I'm not sure I've ever actually seen them do that. But even with it, she's just, really bad at recovering. She used to be like top tier. Now she's bad. They nerfed her too hard. So yeah, Smash this week was bad. Oh well, try harder next time. Didn't help that I was like not in the mood necessarily for Smash at all either. I had a long day at work. I was kicking back, not sitting forward and paying attention very hard, and my nerves were shot after like 2 matches. There were a lot of contributing factors to my utter failure at Smash this week. Could have been better. Could have been a lot better. guess there's not much to report on like the Let's Play front. I'm still trucking along with Bowser's Dark Plan and Club Meetings Season 3. I already talked about Tastes Like Spelunky being over and whatever is next with that. Let's see. I recorded that on Thursday, which means the first episode went up on Friday, and yeah, the final episode went up just before this stream. The rest of this week for indie gaming is going to be more Editor Plus stuff, but I actually just continued playing Tastes Like Spelunky with custom levels to show kind of what that's like. Got through a few of those. I missed my behead. All these PH1 songs ended up together in the list because they all start with MIDI. Like, in the list that sorts them, they're sorted under MIDI. And there aren't any other MIDI tracks to interrupt them. Or at least not very many. Yeah, usually I have one way or another of getting these songs apart from each other. But for these particular set of them, they just kind of pile up. But I don't really mind. Trying to think what else I was doing this week. I wanted to say I played Smash on Monday, but I might have played it on Friday, and now I can't remember. Was it Monday or Friday? And if it wasn't Friday, what did I do Monday? Alright, no, it must have been Friday, because on Monday I was doing regular Pokemon battling. I was, like, trying to get back into that, but not quite. I wasn't up to battling online or dealing with my, current randomized team, so I was just farting around in the battle tower, getting owned by Champion Leon because he's BS. My team could take him, just what ended up happening was he would Gigantamax his Charizard, and then use an air attack to speed himself up, a flying attack, and then he would just own me with Air Slash because the cheating battle tower computer gets flinches every time it thinks it would be advantageous, which is all the time. So I lost like 3 fights to him in a row because he just got lucky. And by lucky, I mean the game is rigged against you, why are you playing it? But I eventually got him and moved on. I think I reached the Master Ball tier in the single battles, and I was on my way to getting there with the Ultra Ball battles, but didn't quite make it before I needed to move on with other things for the evening. Eventually, I want to get like my team all in order and put into Gen 9, so I can like participate in battle competitions there and such. Although at this rate, I might be doing it in the next game they release. Good grief, it's taking me so long. I've been trying to breed my own Colossal, and just haven't gotten the nature for it. I've just been rolling the dice on that, and it hasn't come up yet. I believe Quiet was the nature I chose? Can't remember exactly. It's kind of tough to choose a nature for it, because it kind of needs all of its stats. Like, whenever it speeds up with Steam Engine, it needs its speed, but when it doesn't speed up, it doesn't really need the speed. And it uses a weakness policy, so I have it outfitted with physical and special attacks, so it can hit on both ends of the spectrum. And obviously defenses are important, or no matter what, so it's hard to justify a non-neutral nature on it, but I think I picked one that raised special attack and lowered speed, because it gets so much faster with Steam Engine that it kind of doesn't matter. Maybe? Or did I have a lower defense instead? I can't remember. I can't remember. Maybe that's why I haven't found the nature. I forgot what nature I was going for. I need to look it up again. There's just been so much other stuff going on. It's been too unimportant to focus on. But I'll get it eventually. I don't hack my mons. I've raised so many. I've raised hundreds of Pokemon from level 1 and hatching them and stuff. This will be no exception. It's only a matter of time. There are only like 30 natures. You fill a box with Pokemon and the statistical probability is you got one of each nature. Doesn't mean that's what happens, it's just what's statistically likely. That's why IVs aren't as rare as people think either. Like, when you... IVs vary from, like, 0 to 31, and that means if you breed a whole box of Pokemon, one of them probably has a perfect IV in something, or in any given stat. But yeah, I've been wanting to get my proper Pokemon team fully working. Just haven't gotten around to it. Stonewalled by Colossal. It stinks. I've already got the Charizard, and the Politoed, and the Gastrodon. Yeah. I also acquired the Barraskewda. It's currently an Arrokuda in training, but I got the stats I wanted for it, so that one's just basically ready to go. And once I've got the Colossal, that will only leave a Torkoal to be bred. Come on, buddy. Go! I should use some of these, like, jerkies. Oh, knows I'm not going to be using them in the Warlord fight. They're too weak. But yeah, not much else has really changed this week. That about covers my activities. I'm looking forward to doing more and different things. But in the meantime, that's kind of it. Until I get around to doing more and different things, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Like, I haven't played Phantasy Star Online recently, so there's nothing to report there. Haven't been playing Pokemon, so I haven't gotten around to catching that Monkey Dory yet. You might have thought that would be related to my battling, but no! I treat Pokemon breeding, Pokemon battling, and just playing the games casually as 3 different activities. Can you tell I like Pokemon? But really, there are like fundamental differences to all of those activities. Like they're related, but not quite the same thing. Like there are so many versions of Pokemon and so many things to catch and stuff. Playing the games deserves its own category for that alone. Battling online is like, well, it's like the meat and potatoes of Pokemon. Pitting your monsters against theirs, figuring it all out. Breeding is more closely tied to that, but it's not nearly the same thing. It's a completely different activity. Like breeding is the prep work, and then for the battling, and battling is the main course. You breed so you can battle, and you battle, therefore you need to breed. Yeah, not much to report on those fronts because Pokemon cards had been eating up too much of my time before, and they are no longer doing that. That's nice. Goodness, there are like thousands of cards in my pack pile that I need to go through. I'm just adding 10 to the collection every day. Or processing 10 into the collection every day is what I should say. Technically it's 11 because there are energy cards in there too, but I don't get the energy cards. Energy cards are BS. I'm looking forward to getting through the last of my Brilliant Stars cards. I already got through like the main body of like the common and uncommon cards that I had acquired through various means. But I still have some rare cards left over from a big card lot I had purchased a while ago. And they won't run out until the 8th, my birthday, like I was talking about earlier. Well, once they run out, I can start into my Astral Radiance collection, of which I have a lot of booster packs, and that'll be interesting. Because, like, the common and uncommon loose Astral Radiance cards I have will have run out before I get to the packs. So, I do have a few loose Astral Radiance rare cards to chew through before I can start opening boosters of them again. But it won't be long. Since I'm going set by set, even though there will be plenty of loose cards beyond Astral Radiance, I will want to be opening the boosters before then. Assuming I even need to. Whether I open my boosters or not depends entirely on whether I feel like it's worthwhile. Because if the odds of me opening a booster are going to result in, like, some of them being, or having no place in my collection and just being resold at some point, I'm better off just, like, selling the pack itself. I can get more for it. I am going to be weighing my packs, though. I don't know if I talked about this on stream before, but people have put into practice weighing Pokemon packs to try and gauge what their contents are to see if they are hits or not. And Nintendo has taken measures to counteract this by affecting the code cards they put into the packs. Basically, whenever a pack has a heavier rare card in it, they include a lighter code card by modifying the amount of ink is used to print the code card. So you can't rely on weight alone to tell if a pack is worthwhile or not. Obviously, heavier packs might be more worthwhile, but they might all just have lighter code cards, you never really know. And like, people have silenced this before, and I guess you can look up the numbers they have online and be like, oh, ranges within this set, or like this particular set, this particular weight range is the hits you want or something. But I have more than enough examples to practice with on my own, and I'm just gonna like weigh a pack before I open it, and I'll jot down whatever it was, and I'll get to suss it out on my own, and I feel like that will be fun to do. I'm gonna mend. Oh wait, I was going to use jerky for that. I'm stupid. Got so much jerky from these guys, there's no reason not to use it. I also have a bunch of colas that I don't even know if they do anything for Buddy. Don't they do SP, the colas? Those Diet Colas? Yeah, they're 200 SP, they do nothing for her. I can't even select it. I guess you can sell them. Not that I can now, I killed all the salesmen. Go! I don't think we're going to get our level up today, but we might get close. Okay, so we've got like 50% more to go, and there's only half an hour left. A little over. Of course, if we can keep that up, we'll get a lot more of them. I'm kind of just bopping along to the music here, and it's hard to land at the timing whenever I'm bopping. Not that this song is particularly boppy. I mean, it's got a beat, but I don't know. Wouldn't exactly call it my jam. My liking of this song is mostly due to familiarity more than anything. I wouldn't really call it a great song. Ta! I kind of like the vibe of it, and for where it's used in the game it's from, it's kind of appropriate, I would say. I guess I didn't talk about the music situation just yet. Although it really hasn't changed too much. I'm caught up to where I should be on adding songs from Let's Plays and things. But I still have a bunch of songs from Pokemon Sword to add to the thing. I was working on those before the stream a bit as well. There's still like 20 tracks left to do. I'm kind of on the fence about how to handle some of them too. Because, like, one of my favorite tracks from Pokemon Sword and Shield is the Gym Leader theme. But the thing is, I only really like the basic Gym Leader theme, not the, like, versions you hear as the battle progresses. Like, whenever you get a knockout in a Gym Leader battle, it changes to a more upbeat version of the track. And whenever it comes down to the final Pokemon, there's a part where the crowd joins in on the whole thing. And it occurred to me that the easiest way to handle it would just be to keep the song as it is, because it includes all three versions in it, and let it progress to the final part, and then loop it back onto the final part, like I did for a bunch of the Skyward Sword battle tracks. That would be the easiest way to handle it. But what I could, in theory, do is also set it up such that the three versions of the song are separate in the playlist, and that they cycle into each other, basically. So, like, I would be in the middle of a fight, and it would be looping the main theme, and then I would, like, hit the shift key to advance to the next track at whatever stage of the battle felt appropriate to do that, and then again for the finale. But I don't know if I feel like dealing with that. It would allow me to enjoy the regular version of the theme unfettered by its other stuff, while still including them as possibilities. I just don't know if I want to do that. And there are other tracks I can do that for from that same game as well. Like there's what was it? Oh jeez. The Pokemon League battle theme is handled the same way. Basically the Elite Four theme of Gen 8. Yeah, I want to say that's the only other one that's like that. So only those two that have the variants. I guess so. I could also optionally handle the Eternatus battle themes that way, because Eternatus has 3 battle themes for the 3 stages of its fight. But its fight is kind of stupid and dumb. Because, like, you fight it the first time, and it's its regular form, and that has 1 battle theme. Then it goes Eternamax, and that's the second fight theme, but it's not really a fight you can do anything in. Because, like, yeah, you're there, and you've got your opponent, and you're both on the battlefield, but the Eternatus will not attack, and your Pokemon, if you instruct it to attack, it's too scared to move, because that's the plot excuse for that. It's like, is that even really a fight? Like, really? Can you really classify that as a battle? A battle where neither opponent is willing to do anything? Eternatus just watches you cowering in fear. And then the fight proper begins whenever the Deus Ex Dojin event occurs and Zacian and Zamazenta arrive to do the fighting for you, basically. But that theme, as far as I'm concerned, is actually like the worst of the 3. Eternatus could have been so much cooler if it was handled just a little differently. Sword and Shield had a bad plot. Like, on the one hand, I appreciate the social commentary that the cure for, like, climate change or whatever is worse than the thing itself, potentially. That was a pretty bold move of theirs, I would reckon, especially in a children's game. But, on the flip side, if they had handled just a few things differently, it could have been so much more compelling. The way it's set up, it just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Chairman Rose is like, oh, well, we've got this energy crisis in the region, we gotta do something about it. Oh, okay, I'll unleash hell upon the earth. Yes, that's what I'll do. I will consciously choose to do this. to save the region. And in that sense, I guess it is even more fitting with like the whole climate situation that the media and the people in power try to peddle. But just because their narrative doesn't make sense doesn't mean Sword and Shield's narrative doesn't need to, too. Sometimes stories are good because they're true to life, sometimes they're good because they aren't. And personally, I think Sword and Shield could have had their pie and ate it too, if they were just a little cleverer about things. But they weren't. That's bad. The most fun I had playing Sword and Shield was actually in the DLC. On, like, the Isle of Armor. And to a lesser extent, the Crown Tundra. Like, I liked the subplots with Kung Fu and Calyrex. But the Crown Tundra felt a little too big to me. Then again, it's probably similar in scale to the Isle of Armor. The Isle of Armor had, like, more variety to it. The Crown Tundra is just like, well, there's the snowy part, and then there's the not snowy part, and maybe there's a graveyard in there somewhere. Whoop-a-dee-dee. Very samey settings. Whereas the Isle of Armor has, like, a dust bowl, and, like, a little lake, and some cave systems. And, I mean, I guess Crown Tundra kinda has that stuff too. It's just, I don't know, it feels more distinct. They've got a forest and a wetlands, all these biomes just kind of rubbing up against each other. Crown Tundra's just like Wild Area 3, as far as I'm concerned. Not super enthralling. Too early. I'm trying to get better at those beheads, and I feel like I have been. The flash of part of the animation hasn't been bothering me as much. Like, I've hardly noticed it. Just hard to concentrate on. That was a terrible fight. Didn't help that I missed, like, all but 2 of my action commands. Is it appropriate to call them action commands? I think it is. I celebrate their existence. I'd rather have a game with action commands than not, even if they're like this. Some people really hate them. I know at least one person who can't stand Paper Mario because it has action commands, or they would rather just tell the game what they want to happen and then it happens. Kind of something I've been considering for my own future in making RPGs. Because Lord knows I don't want it to stop with Pokemon Hunter, even though that's where I'm stuck right now. And Take-Two isn't really going to have anything quite like that. The most it'll have in the way of action commands is sort of like high-powered moves, similar to like the Crystal Star powers you had in TTYD. Not saying they would be the same types of things as TTYD, just they would have commands like that. Where you do a little something or other to power up the tank and there's degrees of success, basically. But But that isn't really action commands, I wouldn't say. Not like how Mario RPG and the Mario and Luigi series and Paper Mario pre-collapse would handle things. If you know what I mean by Paper Mario pre-collapse, then you probably haven't played Paper Mario since TTYD. Okay, I guess that's unfair. There are still Paper Mario games that use action commands to an extent, like Sticker Star did for some of its stickers, or actually all of its stickers, really. I'm not sure any of their stickers don't really use action commands. It's just completely inobvious how to use them for the thing stickers, because when you would press them for the prompt is basically non-existent. As far as I can tell, you just mash and they work. Anyway, yes, Super Paper Mario was just kind of a regular platformer with RPG elements, so that didn't have action commands. You could waggle your Wiimote to do stylish moves, but that was stupid and a waste of time, if you ask me. And I actually haven't played beyond Sticker Star. Still need to take a look at the other installments. Color Splash, and Origami King. Were there even any others besides those two? There's Paper Jam, but that's a Mario and Luigi game. I have a lot of Mario RPGs I need to play. I also need to replay the remakes of TTYD and Mario RPG. Those both look fantastic. I expect they will be very fun when I get around to them. When exactly that will be, God only knows. One thing I've been meaning to start doing is adding games I don't necessarily own but want to play to my game recommendation tracker thingy, so that they're at least in the pool of things I could play, theoretically. I've also been meaning to trim out games that probably don't really belong on the list or that I've already completed. Like, if I've already done everything I intended to do with the game, it doesn't really need to be in my random suggestion tracker. Especially when I've been meaning to, like, play games I haven't started before. Have new experiences instead of rehashing old ones. Man, what an idea, right? But yeah, how exactly I want to manage that, I haven't quite decided yet. But it occurred to me that I could add games that I want to get to that. And then when it comes up for me to get them, I just make that my time to buy them. I just have so many games. There's still so many I haven't played. Here I am playing at least the Joyful for the however many time. Whatever. It's how I choose to spend my time. It's super nice that if we nail the behead, we can totally beat that guy in 2 turns. I don't think I could manage that with Final Stab. It's not strong enough. Also, that is much faster than healing with Mend in battle. I don't think my intake of jerky is going to keep up with the demand. Dang it. Like, they don't drop jerky frequently enough for that to be my only source of healing. We can take advantage of it while they're there. That's about all they're good for. Let's see, if only there's like 2,500. Then again, they do have like about 3,000 health, is what we said, wasn't it? You gotta nail it. You gotta absolutely nail it. Then again, if you want the 2-round kill on the head, you gotta nail it too. I guess it doesn't really matter. Just keep killing these guys. We are moving right along. %, almost 73. You know, this might actually be over next stream. Wouldn't that be something? If this next level up puts us into viable range for the Warlord combo, oh boy. Oh boy. That's not what I wanted to do. That one. There we go. There's so much experience to grind up here. Yeah, these guys. We have easily, like, doubled the game's kill count just picking on shadowy figures. Well, stream hiccuped there for a second, but I don't think you missed anything. Making a valiant efforts to level up here, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Not with only 5 minutes left. But you know, that just means we will get this level up very early in the next stream, and we can make a real attempt out of the warlords. Alright, that's time. We got very, very close, I must admit. Let me just check that status there. 906 left. That's like 10 of these guys. Okay, well, let's head on back to the safe crow, and we will wrap it up. Get over there, buddy. Get over there. Alright, and that is going to do it for this one. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time with what is hopefully the end of Lisa the Joyful Genocide Edition. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye.